News 46 is brought to you by Affiliated Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, specializing in comprehensive accident rehabilitation. Our goal is to create the individual treatment plan that will restore your health and end pain. Come in for your free consultation. Call 775-727-8900. Pahrumph's #1 media source for local news, weather, and sports.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, February 9th, 2011. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Rhonda Van Winkle for News 46. Topping our news this evening, horrible tragedy has struck as a structure fire claimed the lives of 3 children and 1 adult.
The call came in just after 10 a.m. that a fire had broken out in the neighborhood of Prospector and Murphy.
News 46 Deanna O'Donnell was there and spoke with David Taylor, who was first on scene.
We're here off Prospector and Murphy, where just the horrific incident occurred, a structure fire. We're going to let you know about that, but first, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene. All hands were on deck for this, as well as Nye County Sheriff's deputies, even Sheriff Tony DeMeo and Town Manager Bill Kohlbarger, all arrived on scene here for a rescue. There was one person pulled from the fire scene and on the ground when we arrived, and the bodies just seem to keep coming out. I can tell you that at least 3 children have been transported at this time. 1 female was dead on scene. We're going to let you know a little bit more about that, but we're going to speak to David Taylor, who is first on scene here.
I was at my house next door and looked out the window and there was fire and smoke, so I immediately ran over there and did what I could to help, grabbed a water hose and then started breaking windows to pull the children out. I guess the mother was running around telling us where the children was at, so I went over there and started breaking windows out, and I helped the firefighters to locate the children that were inside.
So the mother was on the outside of the house.
Yeah,
Do you think that she was at home at that time?
Yeah, she was at home while it happened, and she was all bloody and cut up like she came out the window. So, yeah, by the time I got here, she was running around and stuff, and I broke the windows helping her to look for her children.
So how many people actually live in this home?
I believe there's 4 children and 2 adults.
And so how old do you think the kids are?
I would say the children that I helped rescue were between the ages of 2 to 4.
And how many kids did you bring out?
I brought out 1. I helped a firefighter bring out 1. I located them inside, and then I helped them bring them out.
And there's another resident that lives in here besides...
There was a grown adult that I found in the back room where also a firefighter helped me pull her out, too.
And what were the conditions of the kids that you saw?
Not breathing. I'm not sure if they made it or not.
And then the female?
The female, I'm not sure with her either.
And so there's a total of 3 adults that live here and 4 children, or 2 adults?
I believe it's 3 adults and 3 or 4 children. And 2 adults were here at the time.
And then can you tell me any other information that happened?
Other than that, when the firefighters got here, I helped them with the hoses, and that was about it.
I see that you got yourself cut up and burnt a little bit too.
Yeah, that was helping them break out the windows and get the other children out of the windows and stuff.
Where did the fire first originate from?
I would say the living room. I don't know, but when I looked out my window, it was already engulfed in flames, so I'm not sure.
Do you think that they were alert?
I believe the children were probably sleeping, or they were definitely not alert, I don't believe.
And I have this to report that this is Chad Broadhead, who owns Pahrump Valley Speedway's grandchildren, his son Anthony and his children. They have all been transported locally here, and as well as Mercy Air has airlifted some of them. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Prospector and Murphy for News 46.
And another Good Samaritan who came to the family's aid was Michael Connor.
News 46 had a chance to speak with Michael about this terrible incident.
And one of the heroes on scene this morning at the structure fire was a Good Samaritan who saw the black smoke, who went in full force to help out, and that is Michael Connor and his girlfriend. We're going to speak to them right now.
Well, I seen the smoke, the first signs of black smoke, and we were going down Charleston Park, me and my girlfriend, and so we turned down Barney to check it out. And when we got to Prospector, we seen the fire going up. It was just coming right through the roof. So we went down to the house, and there was a few people standing outside. So I got out and I started asking them, is anybody in the house? And they said they had babies over here in the crib, and they had some more babies on the other side of the house. So
And this was the mother.
yes, this was the mother. She was just really frantic. And so I broke some windows over there, and we got one man out.
So there was an adult male in the house.
Yes, he was in the corner east part of the house, front corner. And so we helped pull him out, and they said there was a baby and another boy in there. So I grabbed my hose out of my truck and I hooked it up to the rest of the garden hose there that they had because it wasn't long enough. And we started squirting in the window.
So there was actually fire in that room or smoke?
No, it was just smoke. It was so thick you couldn't see more than a foot in front of you. It was just really bad. And so the fire department, they got there, and right as we were squirting on the other side, he came in and he pulled the boy out. And so I ran over to the other side because the mother said there was some more people over on the other side. And so we broke that window and we started squirting the hose in there, and there's just so much smoke we just couldn't see what was going on. And so the sheriff told me not to, get any closer. And then that's when the fire department came with their other crews, and they started dousing it with their hoses. And it took about maybe 20 minutes for them to get that fire out. It was just really hot in there. And
You said there was some type of explosion.
well, I heard an explosion. It wasn't that big, but you seen you could tell it was an explosion because the big old puff of smoke, black smoke, just came right out from the top of the roof. And I didn't know what was going on. I know we were on the other side of the house, and I seen the propane tank right there. So, I thought I flipped it off. I wasn't sure if I did or not, but I was kind of worried about that. That might explode too, because I didn't know really what was going on in the house. I was just hoping that everybody was able to get out. And I don't know what the outcome was, but it was really traumatic. It was an experience that it was my first time, doing something like this, and it was really, I don't know how to explain it. It was just running here, running there, and really had no control over it, nothing. It was just crazy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And we'll have more on this fire coming up right after the break. We caught up with Fire Chief Scott Lewis, and we'll be speaking to him.
And also an accident occurred on southbound Highway 160. All this and more coming up right after this break. Please keep it here.
News 46 is brought to you by Affiliated Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, specializing in comprehensive accident rehabilitation. Our goal is to create the individual treatment plan that will restore your health and end pain. Come in for your free consultation. Call 775-727-8900.
Welcome back to News 46. We finally had a chance to catch up with a very busy Fire Chief Scott Lewis this afternoon. Here's what he had to say about this morning's tragic blaze.
I'm with Fire Chief Scott Lewis. We had a structure fire this morning on Prospector.
Yes, just after 9:30 this morning, we had a report of a structure fire with occupants still within the structure. Upon arrival, we found numerous civilians and Nye County Sheriff's deputies who were trying to effect a rescue. One of the occupants had been removed just as I was arriving on location. One of the rescuers was an off-duty test site firefighter, and they were administering care to that patient. So we knew that we still had several occupants. The fire department arrived and went into a rescue mode. Several of our firefighters went through the windows with a protection line, protecting them as they entered. They found 2 additional victims in different locations and safely removed them from the structure. However, there was a 4th occupant of that structure who was on the opposite side of the house that did not survive as well. So we had 4 fatal today, 3 children and 1 adult. We're currently in the investigative phase of the incident, and we've summoned the additional resources from the State Fire Marshal's office. They've committed resources as far as Carson City to come out and assist us on this. So between the Sheriff's Office, Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue, and the State Fire Marshal's office, we'll be conducting a very in-depth investigation as to what happened today.
And there's dispute over, was there a man inside the structure that came out first?
Well, I really don't want to get into the gender of the issues, but what it comes down to is that we had 4 fatals. We had 5 people injured on the fire today. One was an occupant of the structure that got out on their own. And then we had the off-duty firefighter from the test site who was injured. And we had a firefighter who was in the initial rescue effort was also injured. He's still in Desert View Hospital being evaluated. And 2 Nye County Sheriff's officers who also sustained injuries in the rescue attempt this morning.
Do we know what caused the fire?
As I mentioned earlier, the State Fire Marshal is down to assist us in the investigation, so all avenues are open as far as that investigation, and we'll just see what the outcome is.
Was the mom home at the time that the fire started? Do you know?
It's my understanding that she was on location, and she is the one that did get out of the property or the structure and was being treated for her injuries.
So was there 2 adults inside, left inside, or do we know? Because there's been reports that there was the mom, another female, and then the 3 kids, and then there's other reports.
Now, that's my understanding at this point, but again, until the investigation's complete, we'll just rule out everything, especially who may have egressed out of the early stages.
Does anything look suspicious on this?
Not at this point, but again, we're underway in the investigation, so again, we're not going to rule anything out at this point.
A single vehicle rollover occurred on southbound Highway 160 this afternoon. News 46 spoke with NHP Trooper Carlos Rivera about the accident.
We did get a call in from a witness earlier, just prior to the accident, advising there was a reckless driver going southbound. Minutes later, the vehicle crashed here in the construction area.
Some of the witnesses said that they almost hit some people here.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Actually, one of the workers that was working here during the construction area was almost hit. The vehicle crossed into the left lane, which is blocked off, and which is visibly blocked off by construction cones, and was traveling in the left lane travel area.
And I saw that we had Mercy Land on scene here as well. We have Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, Clark County as well.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
And then Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. And this driver will be flighted out.
And was that the only occupant of the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Are the injuries life-threatening?
At this time, we don't know right now. He is conscious right now, so right now we don't want to speculate anything on that.
I believe they said the person was mechanically entrapped.
He was entrapped in the vehicle on there. He was conscious on there.
What advice would you give to people to drive through this construction zone?
Well, number 1, take off at least 10 to 15 minutes earlier. If you have to go into Las Vegas, wear your seatbelts, slow down, and be patient.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On February 2nd, 2011, a report was made to Rosemary Clark Middle School and to the Nye County Sheriff's Office of inappropriate photos being shown on a school bus by a student to a student.
That's right. On February 1st, a juvenile male had been showing pictures of a nude girl to other students on the way home from school on the school bus. Upon retrieval of the photos from the phone, it was discovered there were 3 different nude girls on the device ranging from 12 to 13 years of age.
The investigation revealed that the photos were self-portraits that the females had taken and distributed from themselves by text messaging.
That's right. 5 juveniles have been charged as a result of the investigation. And we'll have more news coming up for you right after this short break. Please keep it here.
News 46 is brought to you by Affiliated Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, specializing in comprehensive accident rehabilitation. Our goal is to create the individual treatment plan that will restore your health and end pain. Come in for your free consultation. Call 775-727-8900.
Welcome back to News 46. Last night's town board meeting met with lots of anticipation concerning the town manager. Item number 6 was regarding whether or not to renew the town manager's employment agreement.
On the table not to renew the manager's employment agreement.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is first and seconded, not to renew the town manager's contract. Any discussion from the board?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Waters.
One of the things that Ms. Endersby mentioned was if we don't feel we've done due diligence. And I know in our first town board meeting of the year, I stated that we needed time to do our due diligence. And one of the things one of the things that I have said over and over is, you know, I've hired many people, I've fired many people, but I have never had to review a person in 1 month and make a determination. Never.
Or I should say the motion was not to continue this particular contract. Mr. Kohlbarger will still remain in employment until June. This board has the option to offer Mr. Kohlbarger a job under a different contract if it wants to. That gives time. Just offering some thoughts here. So it doesn't mean exactly what Mr. Waters is saying, that he's being terminated. Just my interpretation of what the motion is that this particular contract won't continue past June.
Have enough time. I said the new members of the board in 1 month really have not had the opportunity to judge Mr. Kohlbarger.
I sent all of you a letter describing an unfortunate situation that I had to work through over the past 2.5 years. Through Mr. Kohlbarger's knowledge and his experience, he was able to keep things safe for the town and safe for the employees and safe for me. His actions actually saved this town about $250,000 in labor costs.
But I know how easy it is to judge and condemn a person in the court of public opinion.
I stand behind him because he's passionate about our community, he's honest, and he's trustworthy. I think it's sad that you guys point fingers, certain members of the board points fingers at him, but you guys should all know when you point one finger, you have 3 fingers pointing back. And I think Mr. Kohlbarger has done an amazing job, and I feel very sorry for you that you've worked with such negative people.
It was my privilege last year for about 5 months to work with and for Mr. Kohlbarger at the town office. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I was able to watch him on a day-to-day basis over many things. We put together agendas. I watched him with other people that came in that were anxious to do business in town. I watched him with people who had concerns. He treated everyone with respect and kindness, and he worked through their problems with them. He never treated anyone rudely. He always gave them as much time as they needed or wanted, and maybe even beyond that. There are the people in this town who are working 3 and 4 and 5 jobs to make this town work that maybe can't come to town board meetings. The people that are able to come to the town board meetings, the ones who are the most negative, that are going to boo in a moment, are the ones who have really not much else to do. I can't believe the negativity that comes into this room.
What I'm appalled by is that the people that are calling our town manager names and pointing fingers and screaming and acting ugly are saying that he's acting ugly. And how is it that we're not looking at ourselves when we're acting that way and cannot apply that same thing to ourselves?
Mr. Kohlbarger's job is to bring items to the town board for the town board to make the decisions. If he has brought some things to the town board and the town board voted yes, the town board is responsible, not Mr. Kohlbarger.
The motion on the floor is not to renew the town manager's employment agreement. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The motion carries 2-3.
If you would like to see the town board meeting in its entirety, you can tune into digital channel 46.4 tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Thank you very much. Now, there's a famous song out there about blue skies. You heard it? Mm-hmm. Well, we've got blue skies. Blue skies all week long and over the weekend, and maybe even for Valentine's Day? I'm not sure. We'll find out in your 7-day forecast right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body. For more information, you can visit their website at nevadadairycouncil.org.
Hey everyone, welcome back to News 46. I'm Rick Vale with your weather today. We had a high of 58 degrees, pretty chilly out there. Winds out of the east-northeast at 14 miles per hour, so pretty windy also. Pressure is holding steady, 30.27. Sunrise was at 6:38 a.m. and our record high was 79 degrees back in 1996. Now looking at tonight, it's going to be clear out there too. We're going to have a low of 28 degrees, again below freezing, 5 P's of per rump. your pets, your pumps, your plants, your pools, your pipes, all of these things susceptible to the freeze, all of these things you want to protect. Winds out of the northeast up to 10 miles per hour. Sunset was at 5:19 p.m. and our record low was 10 degrees back in 1949. Now, moving on to our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow's looking pretty snazzy, 59 degrees, kind of cool, with a low of 31. Friday, 67 degrees. Looks like the temperature's rising up for us right into the weekend, a low of 34. Saturday and Sunday looking great for the weekend. Check that out, 70 degrees, 71 degrees, with lows of 36 and 37. Not a cloud to be seen. It's going to be gorgeous. You're going to want to enjoy it. Now, moving on to the next week, Monday looking pretty good too, with 73 degrees, our hottest high of the week, and probably our hottest high of the last 3 weeks, if I can remember correctly, with a low of 40 degrees. Now, Tuesday, Valentine's Day, you're going to want to take your loved ones out because it's going to be great. 70 degrees for the high, 38 degrees for the low, and partly cloudy skies. And finishing off our 7-day forecast, Wednesday is looking good too, with partly cloudy skies, a high of 65 and a low of 35. And there will be a community group meeting with Senior Dimensions on Thursday, February 10th at 10 a.m.
This will be held at the Prump Nugget Banquet Hall and is open to the public again. That's this Thursday, February 10th at 10 a.m.
And that does it for this edition of News 46. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Rhonda Van Winkle.
From everyone up here on the Hill, KPVM, we wish you a safe evening, and we'll see you here again tomorrow night. Until then, good night, Pahrump.
Good night.